Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. This is Wind Waker Unflooded, a 3D modeling fan art project where we are bringing to life the land of Hyrule in the art style of the Wind Waker. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you know, of course, if you've played the original game, you know that all the islands of the Great Sea are secretly the mountaintops of Hyrule, but we never really get to explore Hyrule beyond that. We see those mountaintops, of course, through the islands, and we see a small portion of Hyrule near Hyrule Castle, and that's it. We're told that there's this whole world out there that we never get to actually see. We never get to actually explore it. We see these islands, but we don't know what's below them. Until now. So using the power of 3D modeling, using the power of Blender, we are bringing to life the land of Hyrule as you've never seen it before. This is Wind Waker Unflooded. That's the spiel. I mean, I can say it in less than a minute. Take that. So, yeah, if you're new to the channel, I always think it's worth giving y'all the spiel just to let you know what this project is about. You know, like I've said before, it's like I feel like it used to be a really hard project to describe, and now I can describe it in less than a minute. So here we are. And I think that's enough for like anyone who didn't play Wind Waker as well can kind of appreciate what it is, because that's something where it's like, you know, how do you even talk about the project to someone who hasn't played Wind Waker? You know, how do you explain like, oh yeah, we're 3D modeling Hyrule, and someone goes, well, Hyrule, like there's like a bunch of games where Hyrule exists. Why is it a big deal that you're getting to see it for the first time? You're like, no, you don't get it. You didn't get to see it in this one game. You know, and they're like, wait, well, what do you mean? We get to see it in all these other games. We just saw it in Tears of the Kingdom. We saw it in Breath of the Wild. We saw its own version of it in Twilight Princess, a little bit in Skyward Sword, and Ocarina of Time. You know, and like, what do you mean we've never seen this version of Hyrule before? You know, like, in the art style, the Wind Waker doesn't seem that different from Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, no, you don't get it, because we didn't really get to explore it in Wind Waker. So, I don't know, I feel like it could be hard to explain if you haven't played Wind Waker. But it's also, it's like, it's not just about like whether you've seen Hyrule since or not, but it's about like, how does it connect with these islands that we have these relationships with? You know, like, to me, it's like, there's something so special about the world of the Wind Waker, its overworld, the Great Sea, these islands, Windfall Island, Outset Island, the Private Oasis. Those are special islands, Dragon Roost Island, the Forest Haven. It's a really special version of Hyrule to me. It's the most beautiful art style I think the Zelda series has ever taken. And so it's like, to me, like, I feel like I can really defend why this project exists. And I think if you played Wind Waker, then you know why this project exists as well. You know that feeling of, oh, I want to explore, but I just can't. I want to see this world in this art style, but I just can't. And that hurts, right? You know, and I think if you've played Wind Waker, then you know that feeling of wanting to explore. I think so many Zelda fans are explorers at heart. I think that's what this series is about. I don't know. And here's a question too, just like, this is a little bit off topic, but if anyone asks you what Zelda is about, how would you answer? I don't know if I've said it before. Maybe I have, but to me, like, Zelda, if there's anything it's about like helping people, right? It's about being a hero, and it's about like being a part of a community. And you see this, because that's something that ties it together in the dungeons and the side quest, at least with modern Zelda games, you know, since like Ocarina of Time. I feel like that's something that really ties everything together, is this feeling of, you know, by doing a dungeon, you help a community. And by doing side quests, you can be there for people. You can help somebody get their 10 chickens and bring them back to the pen, you know? You can help somebody else bring their pig back to the farm, right? I mean, all these little things, right? These little ways that you can make a difference. I think Windfall Island is a great example too. In Wind Waker, I think there's so many examples on Windfall Island of ways that you get to be a part of that community. And I love that. I love that. That's something that is like, to me, is, if there's one thing that makes me keep falling in love with Wind Waker, it's what it adds through that element. The fact that, you know, you go to Windfall Island and you help, you know, bring these school children into line. You give a gift to their teacher. You bring Linda and Anton together, and now they're seeing each other. Now they're dating because you you told them, hey, I think this person has an eye on you. You know, you give them that little tip. You make Lenzo's life a little more meaningful by being his pupil and willing to study under him, right, as his apprentice, as he teaches you about the art of photography. He's an artist who wants to teach someone new. All these little things, at especially Windfall Island, where, you know, you can really help people's lives and you improve them. You bring Tingle out of jail. You go back to Outset Island, and by finding Knight's Crest, Orca's long dream, you know, long-lasting dream that he never gave up on, maybe that he did give up on, you succeed. He succeeds through you, and that is meaningful to him. But I'm just kind of rambling. I think it's time now for a short message, so I'll check back in with y'all after the break. See you then. If you want to be able to support me as a creator, there's several ways that you can do that. Become a member on Patreon. It gives you access to exclusive bonus features and early access content in all of my filmmaking projects. Stuff like early access to scripts that I'm writing, storyboards, previs, rough cuts, and music that I compose. I'm a composer, and any music that you've heard in the background of this video was my music. So go to Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to music and type in Joe Kendrick. That's JoeKendrick. Look up Joe Kendrick on Spotify. And we're back. And, you know, I think I've decided I'm going to keep rambling. So, I guess, like, I mean this, right? And it's like I said, it's like you could say Zelda is a game series about exploring worlds, finding cave entrances, finding bombable walls and rocks, and using new items to explore that world and defeating enemies. And you could say that's what Zelda is about. And I think in like a gameplay sense and in a game mechanic sense, yeah, I do think that is what it's about from a gameplay sense as a game. But I do think as a series, and to me, like, what I really love about it, beyond just loving that gameplay and loving what that can create, is like how meaningful the games are, because they're about you making a difference in these worlds, in these communities, and showing you that heroism is not just about slaying monsters, but even through some of these trading quests. I think this is why I like some of these trading quests that are sometimes controversial in Zelda games. It's because it's about someone will say, hey, I have a need. Man, like, you know, like, I'm this hand in the toilet. If only I had a little bit of paper that, you know, maybe I'd be able to get out of the toilet. If I had just a little bit of paper, any kind of paper would do. And if you can give them a little bit of paper, that helps them out. That's a funny example, but there's so many examples like that, right? Where someone goes, I have this need. If only you could give me XYZ, and that would help fill that need. And then you find XYZ, and you go back to that NPC and say, hey, I remember you saying that you could use something, that you could use this favor, you could use this item. I'm here for you now. And I think that that's the power of Zelda. I think that's what it's all about. And, you know, like, I don't know, I want to do like a review video of Tears of the Kingdom, like, on its own soon. But I think like that thing, maybe I've already recorded it and released it, who knows, by the time this video comes out. Who knows, maybe not. I pre-record early enough in advance that who knows what else could come out. But that is something that I really like. To me, like, you know, like, there's so many things I wanted out of Tears of the Kingdom, but something that really made me smile were those instances. And I think Hateno Village was maybe the best example of that in the game. But like that oriented its dungeons in that, like, helping people, helping characters find purpose. Wind Waker's great about that too. And just like Wind Waker's dungeons, every major dungeon in the Wind Waker is about helping somebody. There's dungeons where it's about rescuing somebody. You go to the Forsaken Fortress twice to try to rescue your sister. You go to Dragon Roost Island. You go to the cavern to try to rescue Medley, and to save the Rito people as you save them from the wrath of their sky deity, Velu, who is enraged, you know, because he's locked in battle with this monster in the cave. You know, in the Forbidden Woods, you're there to rescue Makar. You're literally only in the dungeon to rescue Makar. You know, of course, like the last two Sage dungeons, right, are about, like, there's these two characters that you've met, Medley and Makar, and you meet them again, and you've already rescued them, but now they're in a search for meaning. They want to be heroes in their own right, and so they join you into these temples, and they find their purpose in helping you, either like solve the puzzles of the dungeon and helping you, traverse these labyrinths underground beneath the waves. They go further away from their home than they've ever been. Literally, each of them go to the other side of the map than where they came from, and then underwater, into underwater Hyrule in a sense, in these temples beneath the islands. And there, they help you complete the dungeon, and there, they find their purpose in prayer, in praying to the gods so that you can have all the power you need supplied by their faith. And I think that's a powerful thing. It's like there's a point where like it becomes very like literal, and then there's a point where it's like it all is about faith and these characters who are finding their destiny in connection with their relatives who aren't just like their blood relation, who transcend evolutionary boundaries. Medli is connected with Chizurito, and she's connected spiritually with her ancestor, who is a Zora. Makar, who is a Korok, is connected spiritually to his ancestor, who is a Kokiri. And even beyond that physical difference, they bond. And, that thread of fate is strong enough to connect the ancestor to their descendant. And I don't know, it's just, I'm just rambling, but I think Wind Waker is powerful. Anyway, here's a video of me working on Kokiri Forest. I didn't even talk about it during the time lapse. But, and this is just a start. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about the model that I'm working on. It's just a start. It's very early on. There's a lot of work left to do on this location that I'm excited to keep working on it. But I wanted to go ahead and show you all this start. Here's Kokiri Forest, just a little taste of it. I think the remains of Ocarina of Time's Deku Tree are going to turn into the Forbidden Woods, and I'm going to imply that the sprout from Ocarina of Time blossomed and became the Forest Haven, with his vines taking him kind of to the other side of Kokiri Forest, where that blossomed, and then a new Deku Tree sprouted, within the remains of the Deku Tree sprout from Ocarina of Time. That's my understanding, and tell me if y'all disagree, but that's just kind of where I'm working on. That's what I have in mind right now for Kokiri Forest in the world of The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. So I've already given y'all the spiel about how you can support me as a creator. Do become a member on Patreon if you want to support me, though. There you can get all kinds of behind the scenes access to bonus features, scripts that I'm writing, storyboards, previs, music that I'm composing. That's the main thing. You can hear my music before it's officially released. And if you want to hear my music as it's officially released, go to my Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to music, look up Joe Kendrick. That's JoeKendrick. So feel free to support me in those ways. I feel like I'm losing myself. How do I end this video? Thank you all so much for watching. I'll let y'all go.